Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. So that was a little bit of Georgie Porgy, the Toto tune. So I always like that tune. There's a bunch of things in that. So I thought today what I'd talk about is 2-note per string major scales. I know it's a little bit of an unusual one. We hear a lot about 3-note per string. We hear about like cage systems and playing around position, the position, the 5 main positions, all that sort of stuff. But the 2-note per string is a useful one. I'll show you this, right? Check it out. If we're in the key of C, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Right? It's an unusual one. The first thing I notice is that the notes are going up in pitch, but my hand is going down the neck. And the same as the reverse is true, so I go down in pitch but up the neck. Now I saw Rick Beato make a video about this the other day. I had it on my list of things to do anyway, but he had a different way of doing it. He played up the scale and then he moved up to another position and played down to do it, to complete it. Wasn't the way I was taught to do it, so I'll show you what I was taught. So I was taught to go, right, it's C, D on that string, then on the A string, E, F. I'll go through these quickly because you can always slow the video down and watch it again. But then, so we've started from C in the next shape, we start from a D note. Etc, etc, and you keep going all the way up the neck until you cover the whole lot. Now, the useful thing out of this is not necessarily something I use when I solo, although I might do something like, maybe it might suit playing something like that. But where it's more useful is, I've talked before in previous videos about bridging shapes, right? Because we don't really want to even have shapes ultimately. Ultimately, our goal should be able to play C major and start from the low E and get to my high D and everything in between and in every possible way. So again, by playing 2-note per string, what happens is I start to bridge the shapes, right? It gives me yet another perspective on the same thing. They say that people that are bilingual learn a lot of things typically slower because they have to translate it to 2 languages, but they learn things on a deeper level. And I've always remembered that with music too. The more ways I can do it, the deeper I'm going to have it down. So that was major scale, 2-note per string. We can do it with any scale. It could be an Aeolian scale. Anything. Right? Any scale. And what it does, again, like I mentioned, it bridges the shapes. So you start seeing them coming together. So that, 2-note per string. It's kind of an interesting one, isn't it? It's, I was showed it by a guy in Melbourne when I went and had a private lesson with him. Speaking of which, I'm doing private lessons, so if people want to listen, then flick me a message, either on my website, nickgranville.com, or to Instagram or Facebook or any of those. Although, messages get lost in there, so probably the best thing is my website, nickgranville.com, and we can organise a private lesson, or I'm taking on students if you want to be involved with that. But first thing, thanks so much for watching, and if you like this, share it with people who are into the same sort of thing, right? I post every day on YouTube. Enjoying this. It's been a month now. This is the day 31. So 31 videos I've done this month. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm digging it, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope everybody's well. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. That tone I had here was basically, I'm using my Fractal behind me, and I've got a Vibrato Lux, which is the amp I use most of the time. Sort of a clean Fender-ish, but right on the edge of breakup. And then I've got a BB preamp in front of it, bit of verb and a bit of delay. That's my favorite sort of guitar sound, is, and it cleans up really nicely. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Cheers.